Hello and welcome to On Your Lane. This is the best place for ambitious people who are taking charge of their lives, making that impact, making that money, and living fulfilling lives. How are you doing? And today we're going to talk about entrepreneurship versus NGO centric businesses. Entrepreneurship is when you build a business that is solution based. You see a need, you see a gap, you see a lack in a system, in a community, and you meet it and you provide a solution. In that process, you're making life better for yourself and also for others. You're solving their problems, so you're relevant. What happens with entrepreneurship is if you do it well, if you get efficiency in your system, if you get better at solving these problems, then you build an ecosystem. You uplift communities with you. The issue we have with poverty, generational poverty, is because as you are building things that have no foundation, you can't pass them on. You can't later pass on to your children that, okay, you use buzzwords to get funding. That is not sustainable. But when you build something from the ground up, then you can teach your children. Then it's standing for generations. Then you're breaking the cycle of poverty for real. You're building an ecosystem around what you're doing for real. So there are people now who can position themselves as suppliers to your business. For this tomato entrepreneur we talked about, that means there'll be some people who'll be like, well, we can supply you, let's say, chemicals and fertilizers for your business. And you'll be like, okay, cool. And because you care about the environment for real, you can actually say, no, I don't want fertilizers and chemicals. If you can offer me organic solutions, that will work. What are you doing? Now you are empowering somebody else. That somebody else is going to look for solutions and they're going to do business with you. Instead of saying, okay, I'll just give you money, do the solutions and go use your organic solutions and just go give them to people in the village. That is not sustainable. When you build a solid business, you build a solid ecosystem and you uplift your community. Now, this free money that comes in, which comes in with an NGO setup, also comes in with commitments, where now instead of focusing on your core business of producing tomatoes or whatever you would like to think about, you find that now it has demand. They want you to now work on, let's say, HIV and AIDS. It's not your core area. You're not interested. You don't know how to work with that. It's not like it's a bad thing to focus on, but really it takes away from your expertise. It takes away from your genius. Then they'll tell you, oh, now you need to train youth in your area. It's a good thing to train youth, but what are you going to train them on? Your business is just picking up. You're still learning. What are you going to train them on? What do you have that is solid? So you find that your core business is being taken away from you. You're distracted from your core business. Now you're doing so many little things because you just want to meet these standards of this project or this donor who is giving you this money. I am not saying there won't be impact. There will be impact. So if you start your business and you're getting all this funding, you employ people still. But the sustainability of this employment is questionable. Even you know it. So let's say something happens to wherever your funds are coming from, then your business ends. Relevance and connection. You know, when I said entrepreneurship is solution-based, solution-driven, there is no connection when you're getting free money. There's no connection to, okay, the client, to you. You're not responsive to the market. You're not responsive to the trends because your money is not connected to what is happening in the economy. Your money has no connection to what is happening on the ground. So it is essentially DAOing. It's DAO, making you DAO in your innovation, making you DAO in your entrepreneurship. So in the end, you focus on totally different things. And therefore, we miss out on the opportunity to build an ecosystem that would really end generational poverty, which we're suffering from in our countries. Another thing is that you also get zero confidence. You know, when you are given 10,000 kwacha, maybe from your employment, you have earned that money, and then you take it and put it in your entrepreneurial venture, and you work, you lose some, you end up with maybe 2,000 kwacha out of the 10,000, you have lost the 8,000, but you keep working, and in the end, you're ending up with 100,000. You have learned something that has moved you from 10,000 to 100,000. Not an easy journey, not straightforward, but you have acquired skills. You know how to multiply money. You know how to work with money. That is valuable. That is amazing. That is a rare lesson and a key important lesson to learn. Whereas when you're just given 10,000 kwacha or then given 100,000 kwacha, you don't know where that money comes from. It's so mysterious. And so you treat it like a rare resource. You're like, okay, how does money work? You don't even know how money works. So that really takes away from your confidence, your skill set, your capability. I had that feeling where I don't know how money works. So when somebody says, oh, this project is 20 million kwacha, my mind would be blown. Like, 20 million kwacha, oh my goodness, 20 million. Because I don't know how 20 million kwacha can be generated. But when I started getting more resilient in business, and then when you see that, oh, my 1,000 became 20,000 by this, maybe my 20,000 can become 70. And then you do something, you're like, whoa, 20,000 became 70. And then you're growing and you're getting to the 20 million kwacha on your own. Or not even getting to the 20 million kwacha yet, but you are building on it and you can see the pathway to 20 million kwacha. It increases your confidence. You're gaining a skill set. Money can be used as a dangle over you. So somebody can walk into a meeting with you and tell you 50 million kwacha, stop this and do youth empowerment or whatever, because that's what we see potential in you for. You'd be like, no, 50 million kwacha is not something that will sway me and make me shaky. But so many young people, so many of us get shaken by 50 millions and 20 millions and 40 millions because we don't know how to sustainably grow 20 million. For me, what really happens is if I meet somebody who is working with the Bill Gates project and they're offering money, and if you do this, we'll give you this. If you use this on your farm, we'll do this. If you train people on your farm, we'll do this. What I think about is, I wonder what Bill Gates would do if you offered him this kind of thing when he was starting out. He had a vision. He was building a business. So he wasn't being distracted by funding this, funding that. He was building a business. He was understanding the ecosystem of his business. He was understanding the value chain. He was seeing the gaps in his business. He was building capability. So he could suffer in a garage. He could suffer at that time because he was building something. That suffering is a gift. That struggle is a gift. When you take that away and put in funding on top of it, where a person doesn't understand how $10,000 looks like, you are distracting that person and you're pacifying them and blocking their capabilities. Now I can't say stop giving people money, because other people will say, well, our business has prospered because of this grant money or that money. But I want to encourage people who are entrepreneurs to think about it, to think about what you want to achieve, and to learn from people who have achieved what you want to achieve. The pathway is not different. I love this quote that says, success leaves clues. Success always leaves clues. Learn from people who have built, not the people who are just managing their funds, but people who have built. Get real mentors. Before you admire somebody's business and their astronomical success, find out, ask them, how did you do it? No, how did you get here? Sometimes it's hard to tell, I was in that place and I'm sharing all this from a place of experience. And that's a whole different story. But I've been in that place where I can't explain my success because I have just received money to do what I'm doing, and it looks successful because there is money there. But it's not money I have developed, and it has made me unable to really generate money, or it has taken away my confidence to say, I am an entrepreneur, I can generate money, or how we're doing in this economy, how are we succeeding in this economy with all the struggles. I don't know, because I just received money, because I just gave a good presentation. And because I am an accountant, I can do projections really nicely and impress people and move on and access money. What am I getting to? This is a plea to entrepreneurs, young people with ambition, older people with ambition, people with dreams. And my heart goes out to you if you're really, really also from a third world country. It is really important for us to know that there are no shortcuts to success. We have to do the work. Stop chasing grants. Stop chasing funding. Those things are good, maybe at a certain point, but if they dial your edge, if you get a grant from the start, if you get a grant 2 years in, it may cut in your lessons, your learning. Let's learn from the people we are receiving grants from. If you're receiving your grant from an entrepreneur who did well in the US or in the UK, learn from them. What did they do to get there? Because we don't want this generational poverty to be sustained. And we don't want you to lose your edge. You don't want you to just start businesses or start initiatives that don't know where they're going. Starting initiatives like, okay, we're just solving this environmental, or we're solving a girl need, we're solving this. You're just following the money. What are you driven by? Where are you going with this? I agree, we have so many issues. We have so many problems that we need to solve. It's heartbreaking when you find that girls don't do school because of menstrual periods. They have to stop going to school. It drives you to want to do something about it. But if what you're doing is asking for money, receiving that money and passing it on, it's unsustainable. You're helping nobody. You're helping nobody. How can you help though? You can help by using your gifts. You have gifts, you have talents. Use those gifts, cultivate them, build something. And from the profitability you can gain from what you build, pass it on to your causes. One of the things that moves me is the lack of education accessibility in this country. I could start an NGO, I could start an initiative that helps people get educated. But you know the problem with that? I'll start writing proposals and begging. Now I'm a glorified beggar who doesn't know how to get money. I don't know, I'm just chasing people's money. There are people who are generating that money with their brains. Their brains are like my brain too. They are generating that money and they're thinking, let me throw some to these people, they will solve their problems. And I'm receiving this money and helping the cause that is moving me. So people are going to school. But what happens when these people don't have money anymore? What happens now when I want to expand this project? Now I have to beg more in a bigger way? But I have talents and gifts which I can cultivate. And this is a sustainable way of helping. If I cultivate and build something solid with my talents and my gifts, and I learn how money works, I learn how to attract more of it, I learn how to use it, how to build systems, then I expand myself. I don't even have to start initiatives. I can build and employ so many people in a system that works. And then these people are going to educate their children. Isn't that more sustainable? Because now their children are going to see their parents go to work and they're going to connect work with reward. You know, they're going to connect hard work with reward. They're not going to just think, well, if you just sit and tell a good story, you get rewards. I did a project where I was going to educate youth in agribusiness. We figured youth need something to do. They're already invested in agriculture. Let's just help them do agribusiness, like a more educated and informed way of doing agriculture. So we went with this project funding that we received to do this project. The project didn't go so well because there was a lot of disinterest, there was a lot of things that happened. But the bottom line in the end was, after the project failed and I went back to my farm and I was just talking to people informally, people started opening up to me. They were telling me that there are people who go to projects. You know, you have designated people who have nothing to do. They have just figured out that if we want to earn a living, we're going to do it through projects. And the projects are endless in the villages. So people come with youth initiatives, people come with agriculture initiatives, people come with HIV initiatives, they come with so many initiatives. And these people are the same people who go to every club and attend every meeting. And I was like, oh, okay. I was really taken aback because I was so invested in this project and my intentions were so good, but it didn't work out because I was working with these people who were not invested. I always say that you attract what you are. So if you are in this project chasing money and just chasing quick wins, you go to the village to think you're going to help people, you are going to attract people like you as well, who are also chasing quick wins. And that's what we attracted on that project. And then when I dug a little deeper, I found that there are successful people who are doing so well in the rural areas. These people never go to these project meetings. When you go there and say, we have this initiative, they never come really. Some come maybe when the chief actually tells them to go, we need you to go there, but normally they don't come. Why don't they do it? Because they know how to solve their problems. They have their farm, they have things to do, they're not idle. So when you come and say, we have a project, they might come the first time, then they see other people with projects, this project, that, and they're like, this is wasting our time. So the people you attract end up being people who you're not going to help. If you do your projects, you empower them, come again in 3 years, come again in 5 years, nothing. But the people who are successful in those areas are still successful. And the people who want to learn in those areas, follow those successful people they can follow. Because those are offering real mentorship, real mentors. People who you can ask, how are you successful? How much of funding do you get that is not from your business? How much success do you have from the actual core business? Because most of the success stories that I have encountered, which were motivating to me, turn out to not really be about the business. Because when you dig deeper, you find, oh no, because of funding for this, funding for that, they get to be successful, or they get to look successful. But then the core capabilities of a business are really not existent. And for me, that is just a sad, sad reality. And just the fact that there's so many young people who are rising up and looking at this. Just like in my time when I was growing up, the motivators and mentors were people who were in jobs because they could get a job and then get cars and get money and they look successful and travel the world. Now, as young people are growing up, they're seeing this NGO-centric business where you can start your youth network, where you can start your environmental project, and you can travel the world. You can go to these different places, different meetings. But what is your business? What is your core business? What are you doing? How are you generating income? Is this sustainable? Can you pass this on? Can you train somebody else to do it? So if you are an entrepreneur, please get out of this proposal-driven business. Get out of it. Shake it off before it pacifies you. Most of the times you don't realize it. It's like this story of a frog. A frog sat in water. It was being cooked, and the water kept getting warmer and warmer. And the frog was like, "Oh, I love this water." Wasn't knowing that it was being cooked till it was too late. It was boiled. That's a bad story to tell, but it's the truth. Because you might say, well, I'm not going to get lost in this funding issue. I'm just going to be here. I'll be sober. I'll just take the money to be wise about it. But you'll be like that frog who is getting warmer and warmer. And you meet a struggle and you realize that I don't have to struggle. I can just write this proposal. And then you get used to it. And you're developing pathways in your brain that connect struggle to funding, struggle to proposal, success to proposal. The success we're looking for is found in resilience, in building. That's what everybody has done. That's what Strive Masiyiwa has done. That's what Jeff Bezos has done. That's what Mark Zuckerberg has done. That's what everybody who does something that is really, really successful and really, really making an impact and really, really making money does. The process is key. The process, we need to go through this process of starting, of cultivating, of growing, of learning, of making mistakes, and then getting the reward. The process is key. That process is your power. That process is your edge. Lose that process, you get glory for now. And I think we should just say it. Stop chasing shiny things. I know with technology we see success so easily everywhere. You see how people are living large in entrepreneurship, and you just want to stay in that picture. But if your heart is really driven by making a difference and wanting to really build something, wanting to break out of this poverty chain and this dependence on funding and this dependence on handouts, then you have to understand that the work really matters. You must do the work, and the rewards will be astronomical for you when you don't give up, when you don't stop. Thank you for sticking with me. You can get in touch with me across all the socials. Mavis Zaina Kanjata. I'd love to hear what you think about this, and I want us to have a discussion around it. What do you think? What is your experience with it, if you have any? And maybe I can talk more about my personal experience. This was more generic, just looking at the whole picture, but I have had my experience with projects, and I have won some grants and some things, and this, what I'm sharing, is coming from that deep place of learning and failing and making mistakes, and then realizing that, okay, this is what I want, and getting clarity around my core business and what I want to achieve. Like, share, subscribe, and let's keep in touch. See you soon.